Yeah, looks like they back for a fifth season, man.
Who that?
Sports Roundtable.
Who?
SRT Crew.
Whoa.
SRT. They got that realness flowing in they DNA. Damn you lame if you ain't tuned to SRT today. HO got that payload when he say so. What you betting on? Don't get mad at me on fantasy. Break up Kyrie LeBron. I be smooth as sports superhero Hancock in the mix. Deal with roll tide forever. Real talk, you know who he gon' pick. See where I be with SRT. Beyond the glass, that G Money. They win strong. I never lose. 6-man elite. That's J Smooth.
All you other sports radio shows is fake news. Believe it. Turn up your radios, cause it's time for SRT Radio. Yeah.
What up? It's Sports Roundtable, and we're live from your virtual studios overlooking the digital world. I am your humble host, H.O. from Bankhead, and I got your originals, the originals with me, Mr. Asa Brown from DNA Sports, and I got Coach from Red and Rail Sports Show. What's going on, fellas?
Everything's good, H.O. Coach, how's it going?
What's up, H.O.?
All is well. Coach done pulled out the check early.
H.O., we got to do like a behind the scenes, you know what I mean, like a little behind the scenes clip sometime before your show starts or whatever, so people can kind of see how things.
Yeah.
Love you, Coach.
Let me give a shout out to Xfinity for getting my internet back up because, boy, I didn't think I was gonna make it today, but they sent out the crew and they came out and did what they needed to do. Okay. So we're gonna pray that the internet stay up all through the show, and we'll leave it at that. I don't want to jinx it, but I do want to give him a shout out. I did have to email the CEO of Xfinity for somebody to get out here as ASAP as possible.
Ooh, yeah.
Glad you didn't have to break up Kyrie and LeBron. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you see how he had the name drop? He had to get a hold of the CEO or the VP or whoever it is. You know what I mean? We mere mortals don't be having that kind of access when our stuff go down.
we talk to the receptionist and see if we can get somebody scheduled.
Yeah.
One move and then they already on top of it. Like, excuse me. Some old lady going without cable tonight because they left and came to H.O.'s house. Ain't that something?
All right. With that being said, man, we got a lot to talk about. We got some NBA. We got E-Dub coming on by 7:45 to talk about what the Hawks have done and have did already. And yeah, a lot of NBA free agency, man. We got to talk about how, in my opinion, the Bucks did Dame a favor. And another former #1 overall pick gets picked up by who else other than the Lakers? So, man, we got a lot to talk about. Wimbledon is going on right now, and the Braves get more bad news.
No. Please don't talk about them. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I was just practicing for my bust of the week. And so I want to go ahead and get started, man. I want to dedicate this show to two legends. Roosevelt Hancock, Coach Roosevelt Hancock, who had the street named after him this past weekend. And also the sports legend, Walter Banks, turned 82 years old, July 1st. The legend himself, Mr. Walter Banks. So we're going to dedicate the show to them two guys as we move on and talk sports and take you around the world in sports. Have you gentlemen had a chance to meet Mr. Walter Banks?
I have not.
Walter Banks was around back when we were colored, baby. Winning games.
Yeah. You got a chance to meet him, Coach?
Not personally. I knew of him. I know we were
Oh, okay.
same thing, but not personally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, somebody you would definitely, once you meet him, you like, man, I would love to go meet him again. Had him on the show one time. We was down at the 1100 spot, and yeah, he dropped some old knowledge as always. So, yep. Shout out to Walter. Shout out to Coach Hancock. And Hancock said he may make the second half of the show. Work been killing him. He said he's surprised that they let him out so he can go support his dad. I said, ain't nowhere in the world. He had to drive to Memphis. He didn't get a chance to see your boy while he was there.
Wait. The limo didn't pick him up?
No, he had to drive to Memphis, and yeah, so that's it. He did tell me that his dad had job offers from Fisk, Middle Tennessee, the University of Houston, and the University of Memphis, but he selected to stay in the high school and raise the kid. So, Coach, that led me to think that if you would have got some college offers, would you have stayed in high school to coach, or would you have taken your talents somewhere else?
Man, please. The high school kids mean nothing to me. I don't care. No, I'm just playing. No, I would do a college only for the fact of the a different experience. Because I've done high school forever. For about now, how many years have I done high school? About 15, 20 years. I've been doing high school. I just wanted to college just for the experience to see what all it entails as far as travel and everything, just to see what it's like. If not just for a year, just to see what it's like.
Yeah. What up, Dez? Let's get together, man.
What up, Dez? One thing you'll never see though is me in a suit on the sideline. Oh no, that'll be banned right off the bat. No, I ain't wearing no suit because yeah, I'll be in the school wind suit because wearing them suits. The next thing you know, the tie's unloosened, your shirt almost unbuttoned, your coat on the ground. They done made you mad. You done took everything off. Like, Lord, I'm doing this on TV now. I want to be comfortable while I'm pacing the sideline.
Yeah. Speaking of Coach, are you familiar with Coach Phil McCrary at Columbia High School?
The great Columbia High School coach?
Yeah. Did you hear about what happened to him this past Monday?
No comment. No comment. I'm just like, oh, right there, coach.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let you read about that.
Like
that. Dead.
Oh, I saw it. I saw what happened on the trip. Oh yeah.
Oh, you saw what happened? Now, a legendary coach. I mean, because of his legendary status, do you think don't you think he deserves some kind of what's the word? His legendary status should have some type of respect on the status that he has brought to the community of Decatur into the school. I mean, because most people know the school because of him. Grace, yeah. That's it, there's Grace. But I mean, it's funny how these folks start turning on you when you don't get what you want. And then soon after, the kid done transferred, and now it looks all bad because the kid done transferred now.
Yeah, you can't
I see
really
you stand.
you
I
can't
see you
really
staying
cough
out of
on a
that
kid
conversation, Coach.
nowadays, though. That's a
Yeah, Coach. I see you staying
yeah,
out of
you
that
can't cough on a
conversation,
kid nowadays without some kind of problem going on. So what happened. You know, the boy did something, he did back, but nowadays everything is PC. So you got to be real careful about what you do with people's kids nowadays, because this is a sue first society now, and everything goes according to that.
Yeah. And speaking of Sue, P Diddy, Puff Dad, or Sean Combs done took over the news cycle as his verdict done come out, and he's only convicted for 2 out of 5.
Something of that nature. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
Did you
disappointment.
hear what he
A lot of
said?
disappointment.
You didn't hear what he
No,
said at the trial?
what did he say?
He stood up and said, "Take that, take that, take that."
I knew that. I figured that was going to be coming down the pipe.
Coach all the chain. All right, with that being said, fella, let's go ahead and jump into some hot news. The hot news sponsored by Big Easy Grill, 1193 Collier Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Big Easy Grill, the best Louisiana seafood in town and probably in the South. And to be honest with you, probably in the world. Big Easy Grill got the fresh shrimp, 2 bites, get rid of 1 shrimp. They got the crab claws and the beignets and the po' boy shrimp. Yes, Big Easy Grill is the place to be. Go on over there. Make sure you mention SRT or Sports Roundtable. Gets you 10% off any meals, $25 or more. Once Coach get well, we going.
Well, I can tell you now, it's gonna be in July. Let me go and put it out there. It's gonna be in July.
Okay. Well, that's this month then.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good deal. Well, Coach, do you don't eat shrimp? Do you eat crab claws then?
I told you what I'm gonna eat, and I'm sticking to it. Boudin, red beans and rice, and for dessert beignets, and there we go. End of story.
Okay.
I don't want nothing else.
All right, there you go. Good deal. All right, first item. NBA free agency has started. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you fellas, what do you think about the free agency starting and what has happened thus far? Without really getting deep dive into it, we'll get into it in our roundtable discussion. But so far, has it been exciting? Has it been? Give me an emotion of the NBA free agency thus far.
Somebody in the West gonna win it all again next year.
Okay. Coach, what it looking like for you?
All I can say is back when I was a young pup in 7th grade, basketball coach told me, said, "Mr. Thomas, you got some size on you. You sure you don't want to play basketball?" I said, "No." He said, "I think you should come out." And I was a fool, and I stuck with baseball. Now look at these contracts these guys getting. Doggone shame. I should have done what the coach asked me to. These guys getting these in ridiculous contracts for guys who not even worth it. Well, they might not be. Well, I ain't gonna say they ain't worth it, but golly, it just a lot of money being thrown around for some guys. I tell you.
Yeah, the contracts you hear that the guys are getting, I agree with you, Coach. The contracts you hear for the guys that are getting them, you would think for the most part they're like, oh, that must be the star player of the team, or the number 1 or number 2 option for the team. And then you start looking, it's like, nah, that's the 3rd guy, or that's for the guy that's going to be sixth or seventh in depth. Or you hear the money that's being paid, and then your first question is who? Like who is he? Where he coming from again? Because he hasn't been,
Yeah.
he hasn't been that I don't want to say hasn't been that good, but it's not a household name. So, a lot of this money is going out to round out some teams or to finish
Mhm.
constructing some teams, but not for the main players.
Too much
Mm.
money.
But I feel like HO,
Marlon,
Yeah,
everybody
Marlon
that
said the
I
second
agree.
apron is a major factor. You right, Marlon.
Yeah, I agree with Marlon that the second apron is one of the biggest hurdles.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, that's tough right there though. So the super max that SGA just got, well deserved. You win an MVP, you win a championship, then you get a raise. What a year he had.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Timing is everything.
What did Harden get? He got 2 years and what? Can't remember, but the Clippers trying to save themselves. What did they give Harden? 2 years and what?
He got another. Let me pull him up real quick. Man, what did Harden
Well,
get?
Coach, are you happy? Are you happy with what the Hawks have done thus far?
Could care less. I'll say that for E-Dub. He'll be ecstatic about the Hawks.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get disappointed in my boy. I don't know what he's gonna do now.
What you talking about?
Westbrook, because the Nuggets loading up big time.
Oh yeah, there we go. 2 years, 81 million.
Yep.
80, yeah. That's a. So my question is, with the way Harden has played the last couple of years, would you have given him, if you were the GM, would you have given Harden $60 million a year, basically?
Heck
No.
no. Heck no. Not indeed. I mean, no indeed. I'm sorry, no indeed. Not him. Playoffs. He become James Harden. He ain't no James Harden. James Harden. And you forget about basketball, and he stopped playing. Now the goal is to win the championship, not to be good and make the All-Star team, and that's it. That's your goal. No.
Marlon said he'll give him a 1 year
Marlon,
deal
you're
for the rest
exactly
of the
right.
year.
That's right. You're exactly right, Marlon. I agree. Totally. 1 year deal, baby. Take that. Like I said about Puff Daddy, take that. That's all you get. You ain't getting nothing else. I couldn't trust you for more than 1 year.
Mm-mm. Who's the winner thus far of the off season, Asa? Then I go to you, Coach.
I got 3 people, I guess, who won. The Nuggets, I like what they've done. Houston, I like what they've done. And then the home team, the Hawks, I like what they've done.
Okay. Good deal. Those are three good choices. I'm surprised you didn't put Detroit in there, but I'm yeah. Well,
They about to lose.
yeah. All right, Coach.
They about to
Who's
lose a guy.
who's winning the offseason for you?
Yeah, you got the Hawks. You got the Nuggets, who done come up a big time, and the Rockets. Everybody better watch the Rockets. The Rockets stockpiling, getting some big. They got big men. They got guard. They getting everybody to re-sign. They getting some guys to come in there and play, and so they better watch them too. The Rockets going in for a title, and then they got one of the best coaches in the NBA. Got all that to work with. So here we go.
They signed Capella, so Durant won't have the rebound. He can stay outside on the perimeter.
Yep, and they already got Adams and Sengun, so hey, they getting some beef in there.
Yeah, they didn't have to lose much. They didn't lose much when they gave what they traded with Phoenix to get Kevin Durant. They didn't even lose much as far as future picks either. So they came out well all the way around. A lot of times, teams have to mortgage their future for the now when you're trying to get a big name star like that, but they didn't have to do any of that.
I'll tell you what though, if I was the Nuggets, I sign Westbrook. Because look at that bench they got now as opposed to last year. Westbrook, Valanciunas, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, all them guys. Man, they'll be loaded on the bench. And then you got Michael Porter Jr., who think he got to go inside the paint unless he dunking. He stay out the 3-point line. You got Cam, what's his name, Johnson for him, who's just a big. I mean, can't as big as him. So hey, the Nuggets gonna scare some folk again this year. They're gonna make cut. They got a nice bench now. So that was they not last year. They didn't have a strong bench.
The bench coach, and then you'll have a full season. Well, he can use and you're gonna have a coach there you're gonna have a coach that can be able to use his experience coaching in the playoffs, but then have a full year of coaching experience under his belt. I think that's the only reason. That's probably for me the only reason why Denver didn't beat OKC this year was because you had a inexperienced head coach who just got thrown in there 2 weeks before the playoffs started, and you've seen that he just wasn't able to make some adjustments game to game in the playoffs due to inexperience, and some of that too as well. Probably didn't have enough bench to move to make some of those adjustments. But I don't think OKC gets back to the finals next year. I think the West has loaded up correctly on how to beat them. Houston has a big front court lineup. You just mentioned Coach. Denver now has a big front court lineup. You're going to be able to lean on those young boys who are all small in small in nature. So
does that mean that has OKC created a blueprint so everybody can start to deepen their bench to go further into the playoffs?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Again, that Denver series showed the Denver series, and then obviously the finals showed that you got to have a deep bench because they're gonna be able to go 7-8 guys right in rotation. They're not going to shorten their bench. Typically, when you get to the playoffs, most coaches go from maybe playing 7 or 8 guys, other than Thibodeau. But most coaches during the regular season will play 7 or 8 guys during the regular season, maybe even play 9, right? and then they'll shorten their bench in the playoffs to like 7 guys that they trust. OKC was like, nah, we playing our regular 8 and 9, and depending on the series, we might even go to our 10th guy. You know what I mean? They constantly play everybody, so teams are looking like they doing the opposite. They're playing to stay fresh, and we got to be able to counteract that. And so, getting a deeper bench, and I also think that again, I think teams realize if you play Oklahoma City big, you will have an advantage. You're seeing some of that advantage with Indiana in the finals. When they went big, they had an advantage. Unfortunately, the bigs couldn't score enough or didn't score at all.
Yeah.
Like Miles Turner.
The reason I asked because it seems like the offseason has been teams developing the bench instead of messing with the core.
I think I had mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago. I said we about to get into team building era and not the big 3 era, right? Right. And so, if you can draft and have one, you're gonna need at least 2 superstars. So if you can draft a superstar and then maybe bring one in free agency, that's great. But GMs now going to have to learn how to team build. And so that's kind of why I'm tipping my hat to, you heard me say a few times, like, what are with the Atlanta Hawks? Like, what are we doing? And so, but these last couple of years, I have to tip my hat to them. They're team building. They're building a team out and addressing all the areas. We got a big, we got a point guard. We need wings. Who's the backup point guard? Is he similar to what we have in our regular point guard? So you're seeing all those things. You'll probably get to it here in a minute. I don't see those things happening with the Lakers. I don't see team building. I still see the Lakers acting like they're trying to put together a big 3. And that's not where the league is at now. The league is at team building. You got to have a superstar, maybe 2. A superstar and a star, and everybody else has to be very good and know their roles.
Yeah, good fits is what they say. Dez makes a good point. The deeper bench is the new version of load management. So yeah, I agree with that.
Oh man, that's perfect, man. That's perfect because you're gonna see that with Houston, and I hope you see it here in Atlanta. You're not gonna. Hopefully, you don't have to pay. You don't have to play Kevin Garnett. KD. You don't have to play him 82 games. Hopefully you can pay him 67 to 67 games, and out of those 67 games, he's not having to play. You can limit him at 25, 30 minutes a game. You know what I mean? That way he's fresh for the playoffs. Well, that's the reason why you got to have a deep bench and you can put other guys in. Same thing here with the Hawks. I'm hoping, even though I know you, HO, don't like it because Porzingis has a history of being hurt. I get that. I understand that. But what they've kind of done now, though, I don't need Porzingis to play but 65 games. And again, same like KD, out of those 65 games, I don't need him playing but 25 to 32 minutes a game. Because I got enough pieces to shuffle him in and out. And
Marlon makes a good point as well. 3-and-D and rim protection, along with your superstar. So and the Lakers did sign DeAndre Ayton, and I think we mentioned that at the beginning of the show. So
it don't move the needle.
Yeah. just a big body. He's finna get on the LeBron team that's going to demand him to be the player that he's probably can't be right now.
It's going to be the consistency, right? Have we seen it anywhere else? I mean, what is he averaging? 16? I don't even know. What's his numbers in his career so far?
Not good.
What is it?
Who, Aiden?
I'm
Aiden.
about to look.
Colts Braves down 2-0 already in the first. For Fuentes is again. He's about to be 0-3. Did they bring him up too early?
Yeah, they brought him up too early.
I don't think they had a choice to bring him up though.
Well, with the news they got from Spencer today, then yeah, I think he had to come up and just take his lumps.
Not Alex Lynn. Oh my gosh. Ooh, you right about
Yeah,
that.
he's the Alex man. Yeah. Is Jackson Hayes still in the league? Who are you with now?
He's somewhere. I thought he was still with the Lakers. I don't know.
As far as I know, he's still with the Lakers. Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Are you still with the Lakers?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's get into the NFL trade. Jalen Ramsey gets traded to Coach. You happy?
Oh Lord.
Not really. You got you a Rod Woodson-esque cornerback. Or am I out of line comparing Jalen Ramsey to Rod Woodson?
I ain't even a Pittsburgh guy like that. You out of line on that one.
He ain't that good. Not at this stage of his career. No. Mm-mm.
So you weren't happy with the deal?
I was happy at first when they said it, but then when they said Minkah Fitzpatrick, my mood changed because both of them playing about on the same level, but Fitzpatrick is a quarterback in the secondary, and he was a veteran presence that everybody talking about he didn't do nothing. I said that's because they didn't throw his way because he was back there playing center. They didn't throw Minkah Fitzpatrick, and I ain't gonna say Rams ain't gonna be good. He's gonna be decent, but I don't like how you gave up one of your veteran players presence in the locker room as well for Ramsey. Ramsey has impressed me because he's been a little immature. He got to impress me, and when he does that, I clap. Man, I'm liking his game. Now, on the other hand, Jonnu Smith, I know Rodgers like to hit that middle. And Smith plays like a wideout sometimes, so there's another wideout when you put him out there with that with them tight ends and there was the other wideout.
So he has followed Arthur Smith again.
There lies the problem.
I don't know if Coach heard you.
Coach done pull his shank out. I just said that's the. I know Coach gonna try to stab me when he see me, but oh well, I can't hold it. I gotta let it be known. I got.
Try that. No, I'll see that. Try.
It's a if I was a Steelers fan, I'll be upset because all this is just a 1-year fix. So you brought in, you let Michael Fitzpatrick go, but you brought in a Ramsey, who's unfortunately the latter part of his career has been injury prone. You bring in Jonnu Smith, who is, if you're going to start mentioning the tight ends, if you're going to mention your top 7 to 10 tight ends, Jonnu is probably at number 10. Your quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, 1 year. He's year to year. So, hopefully maximum 2 years. I just feel like
he said he out here after this year.
After this year. So, there's somebody else that y'all picked up, Coach. Somebody else y'all picked up. I can't think now. But that person is older as well. So they're an older team, a little bit long, a lot long in the tooth. So if I'm a Steelers fan, every team should be, is going to be worrying about injuries, obviously, just part of the game, part of the sport. But at some point, you're more prone to injury than at other parts of your career. The Steelers look to be on life alert when it comes to injuries because everybody's old. And 2, if you can avoid the injury bug, it's just this 1 year. And next year, you at the same spot, looking for a quarterback, looking to replace a corner, looking, you know what I mean? Like you literally, we'll be here next year on SRT talking about what the Steelers need to do at 3 or 4 different positions because the people that they picked up this year are only going to be there for 1 year.
No, we won't be talking about nothing on SRT. No, we won't be talking about nothing. You may take it for what it's worth. You may. All I can say is this. I don't want to hear anybody say nothing else about Mike Tomlin as long as he's breathing. If he could take this team and get in the playoffs and get move up to at least the AFC Championship game, because again, Tomlin is good for at least 7 or 8 wins, at least by just coaching. And his team, he has a way of getting them team. The hidden component for this team is going to be the young boy. If the Steelers can establish the run, they're going to beat some folks. Now, I'm scared of Baltimore. Ain't no me lying. Baltimore, I don't mean to jump from team to team, but Baltimore, I feel sorry for Lamar Jackson. I really do. I feel sorry for him.
So Coach, what's the for your team? What's the floor? Like what's the worst possibility? Where do you see them ending this year? You see them winning you see them winning the division? Do you see them as a wild card? Do you see them making it to the AFC Championship game? Do you see them getting to the Super Bowl? Like where do you have them maxing out at? Realistically, we all want our teams to make it to the Super Bowl or whatever. Okay.
And if they don't make the playoffs, it's a major disappointment. I don't care what anybody say, but if they can at least make it to the second round. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Tomlin gonna coach Pee Wee to the playoffs. I mean, I feel like part of the problem is he's such a good coach that they be like, you know what, we give this man, he'll do more with less than us giving him more. So I see them making the playoffs. I see them being, 9-8, 10-7, making the playoffs. I just was wondering what you would think you know, what their top end is. Do you feel like if they get into the playoffs, then they'll probably make a run for the AFC Championship, or you feel like they get into the playoffs and they one and done again? I was just trying to try to see how you felt about that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if they can get this team in the playoffs, I don't see one and done. I can see them moving on. Now, to say Super Bowl is unrealistic, and I'm a Steelers fan since whatever, but I'm unrealistic. If they get to the Super Bowl and all this, fine. If they don't, I mean, I'm not going to tell you right now that they're a Super Bowl team. I'm not going to tell you that right now because I think they can make some noise. Their schedule is not as strong as it was last year. That's the thing. They don't have all those games piled up in a row like they did last year. They kind of spread out. So, and everybody's saying they're going to finish third. I said, Baltimore, I understand. Cincinnati has no defense.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Going to be 40 to 35 every time they play.
No. I'm with you on that. I got Baltimore winning.
Joe Burrow going to destroy everybody.
I agree with you on that. They'll be in second in the North and be a wild card, and hopefully be able to get a home game. I just wanted to hear whether or not if you felt like they'd be one and done, and it's like if they one and done again, we've gone through this program for nothing. It's just kind of where I was trying to see where your mindset was at. So.
Hey, before E-Dub come on, let's go ahead and jump into this NBA gambling with Malik Beasley and his investigation for what he got going on. He's been investigated for possible,
first of all,
prop betting involvement as far as gambling is concerned. They had talks of Detroit had a $42 million deal for 3 years sitting on the table before this investigation started. So possibly he could be losing $42 million with this investigation. All right, Coach, what you were gonna say?
I just think, do these guys even think about stuff before they do it? You're going to sacrifice your career. So $42 million not enough? I'm going to take that back. If he's guilty, you mean tell me that's not enough money for you? You had to go and bet money, try to make more money? Are you crazy? If you did it, and if you didn't and he's innocent, okay, then everything's all good. But to even have your name implicated and stuff like that is crazy to me.
There you go, Coach.
Why you can't do it? Just like guys. That's it. What day is you right? And Joe Burrow gonna keep them in games.
Yeah, that's tough.
Two best wideouts. Well, not two best, two great. So yeah, it's crazy to me what Beasley did. If he's guilty, he's another fool.
Mm-hmm. All right, we were talking about NBA, so let's go ahead and jump into our guy. As he's in the back room, he about to tell us what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks and how they did and all this other kind of stuff. So get your questions ready, because here he is, ladies and gentlemen, our main man, Mr. E-Dub is in the building.
Happy Wednesday, crew. How's everybody doing?
What's going on, sir?
Yeah, Coach said you got your mic back.
Yeah, man. I was on location.
The golden child with the golden mic.
Yeah, man. It's actually red. It's not gold. It's red. So it's all good though, man.
All right, E-Dub, the Hawks report. So
I know. I had to mess with you. Yeah,
the Hawks went from possibly not having a GM So now the GM they got promoted is making waves through the city and with the wheeling and dealing that he's done. Let's start with the draft. Your thoughts on and your grade on what the Hawks did draft night after you came on and talked, and then they went ahead and finished off the draft. And they did what they did with the draft, and then they go into the offseason, and then they added some bench pieces. So tell us about the draft and give me your grade on the draft.
Yeah, man, I actually like the Asa Newell kid. He's still kind of a project. I imagine that he's going to spend the majority of his year in College Park, which is something that I kind of plan for. You apply, see him a little bit. I mean, but there's no rush to really bring him in. You know what I'm saying? So they can kind of bring him along slowly. And I think he's a very athletic kid. And of course, everything I asked Ansi, what are some things he needs to work on? He's like, everything. But he didn't say that like from a derogatory standpoint. He's a 19-year-old kid, right? And so he needs to work on his game, and they're going to work on that in College Park. But I think it was a good pick. Fleecing the Pelicans was probably the story of the night nationally, because giving up that pick swap for the 22nd pick is just ludicrous. I don't know what Joe Dumars was thinking, but that has the potential to be a very high pick if New Orleans doesn't do well and if things go south in Milwaukee. So, I mean, you got a tremendous draft asset, and all you had to come off was a 22nd pick. And, the 13th pick. And, I think as far as the draft is concerned, they walked away with everybody really excited about it.
All right, so then they moved from the draft to the offseason, signing the Walker kid and signing Luke Kennard. So they got some defense and some shooters.
Yeah, man, like that was like Ansi is like it's his first game. He's batting 5 for 5, right? So like I remember a long time ago when the Braves traded for Fred McGriff. In his first game, he hit like a 2-run home run. Like it was like that's how I associate Ansi right now. Like, yes, he's gonna make some bad moves. He's gonna have some misses, but for now, like he's like 4 for 4, 4 for 5 for 5, man. And those additions with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, with Porzingis, and bringing a shooter like Luke Kennard, those are just all pluses in my opinion. So if you look at the Hawks front seven, like their first 7 players outside of Kennard might be like an 8th or 9th guy right now. But I dare you say they can compete with anybody in the East, that front 7. And you got a shout out to the GM, man. So salute to King Ansi.
All right, for those who don't know who Ansi is, can you give us a little background of who he is, where he come from, and what do we expect from his kind of personality, his character, and what is his strength?
Yeah, so Ansi has come out of he spent some time in Golden State and he spent some time in San Antonio. So the boy has pedigree. He was in our system. He was in the Hawks front office. He just wasn't operating at a general manager capacity. I forget exactly what his role is, but he has tremendous pedigree from his first 2 stops in San Antonio and San Antonio and Golden State. I've only talked with him twice, but he's a very cerebral guy. Like, he doesn't get too high with the highs, too lows with the lows. He talks like a GM. And there's questions he knows how to sidestep, and obviously he's got the juice to make some moves. And I think that's why they have him in that position. It is fairly safe to say that the Hawks are no longer looking for a VP of basketball operations, because they would really be silly, because Ansi's been hitting it out the park as of late.
Yeah, my next question was going to be, so are we still looking, or this is it?
There was a report. There was a report about a few weeks ago that the Hawks were still looking, but the longer this goes and the more Anzi is just taking control of the general manager position. Like he said during the rookies press conference, he was like, I'm the one making the moves. Like he letting folks know, like, I'm the one making the moves now. Like, so if they want to bring in someone to like make the moves above him, that would be kind of silly. But like, I don't know. I doubt they'll bring in somebody else.
My next question is Ansi and Quinn Snyder on the same page though?
It appears so. I mean, it's early in the marriage, and it's still the honeymoon phase, and so he had glowing things to say about Quinn. He had glowing things to say about Trey, and that's typically how it is. We'll see how it is through the ups and downs of the season, and we'll see what it looks like after we live through some things, right? And so, but now it's still kind of the honeymoon phase, and everyone seems to be on the same page.
We talked earlier, E-Dub, about how the offseason looks like everyone is kind of taking a page out of OKC's book and developing their bench and getting deeper and deeper to develop depth. Do you kind of see it that way with the offseason going on right now, that teams are looking to develop their bench opposed to messing with the core of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's kind of the mold everyone's kind of going in now, and I think that is I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I remember when Golden State was on their run, everyone was trying to replicate what they were doing. It just happens that you can't replicate what Golden State was doing because they had generational shooters on that team and very, very good defenders. Klay Thompson. Iguodala, Draymond Green, those are like all NBA defenders. So you couldn't really replicate Golden State. It's easy to kind of replicate OKC because all they did was just like coach up the guys they drafted. They made timely free agent moves, nothing like super blockbustery. You know what I mean? Nothing too like blockbustery, but like a good mix of drafting well and bringing in the right talent. And I mean, they're set for the next few years, and they have a ton of draft capital. So I mean, shout out to Gilgeous Alexander. He just got his bag, and yeah, man. You ever see him, man? Dinner's on him.
For the next few years.
But yo, $71 million a year is crazy. Like it is crazy. But salute, man.
For the next decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rumor has it that Trey helped Nikhil Walker get to Atlanta. What's the involvement with Trey trying to help build a team as well?
I mean, it just goes to show that he's bought in, right? There's been a lot of narratives about what Trae Young is and what he isn't. But the one thing that he's shown is that he's bought in. I was at the press conference for Asa Newell, and Trey was sitting right there, front and center. He didn't really make too much fanfare. He didn't ask questions. He didn't hey, I'm here. He just showed up to support his new rook. You know what I'm saying? I saw Trey at a WNBA Atlanta Dream game too. Like he's embracing the city. He said numerous times that he wants to be here. And so like the narrative about what Trae Young is and what he isn't is kind of slowly being put to bed. He's if he's got to make phone calls to get some guys here that he feels will help him win, that's what he's going to do. And several sources have said that he did that, and so I think it's just a credit of his maturity, and him just kind of buying into what he believes this city do for him.
So I guess, is it safe to say that the next move would be Atlanta bringing out the checkbook for Trae Young to get him to stay?
I mean, probably so. I mean, they should, I believe. I mean, they don't really have to rush it. I think he's eligible to sign it, I think, after July 7th. So, I mean, he can sign it early or this year. He can sign his extension this year. So, I mean, and he still has a player option. So, if he doesn't sign on the 7th, like there's no need to panic, because he does have time. So, that's kind of a TBD. We'll kind of have to wait and see.
Are the Hawks finished making moves in the offseason as far as players?
Well, they still have 3 more open roster spots, and so they have a little bit of cap room left. It's going to be interesting to see what they do to fill out this roster. I'm a believer of they probably need one more wing, one more big, and it would probably be nice to have another ball handler.
I about to say one more guard.
Yeah, one more guard, and that can be. I'm kind of fluid on that. You know, a lot of people want a backup point guard, but I'm kind of more of on the lines of if you can get someone that can handle the ball and get folks into actions, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional point guard, but that's just kind of my opinion on that. But like, if you can get a point guard, like go get one. Like I'm big on Corey Joseph. I'm big on some of those point guards out there, but
I think Malcolm Brogdon's still out there.
Yeah, I mean there's tons of ways you can go as far as the backup point guard's position is concerned.
Is Kobe Buffkin safe coming up?
I mean, nah, man, nobody's safe. We saw Luka Doncic get traded. We saw Luka get traded, man. Nobody's safe. But to your point, I'll say this. Kobe, this is a big year for Kobe, and I think everybody in the world knows that. The reason I'm not I'm not like taking a hard line of the Hawks have to get a point guard is this. Trae Young, for his career, typically average about 34 minutes a game, right? 34 minutes a game. That only leaves you 12 minutes of point guard play that you need, right? So in that 12 minutes, I believe that you can platoon those 12 minutes between Kobe Buffkin. You know, Dyson Daniels showed he can run the point a little bit last year. Vic Carici, within that 12 minutes of Trae sitting, I think you have guys that can get folks into action. I mean, it would be nice to have a traditional point guard for those 12 minutes, but like, you know, give Kobe 6, give Dyson a few, and give Vic a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that's something that they can manage the Trae, because Trae's going to give you about 35 minutes a night, you know, and you just don't really want to run him into the ground. So if you could just find a way to get those 12, maybe 15 minutes at the most, I think you'll be fine.
Keaton Wallace, where are we with him? He showed some improvement last year.
I'm not sure his contract situation. I don't think he's under contract now. I think they still have the ability to sign him to like another two-way if they want to. I think they do have one more two-way roster spot open. Keaton Wallace is something that could give you part of those 12 minutes if you want. He played really well last year. You could have Kobe as your main kind of backup guy, and maybe Keaton to kind of back him up. Like you could give Keaton a roster spot. You don't have to give him a two-way, you know, and you can get him for very cheap. I mean, he's going to be cheaper than like Chris Paul or like some of these other vets that might want a little bit more money. So, I mean, Keaton Wallace could be an option for the Hawks. I wouldn't be that, you know, upset if they brought him back as like a third point guard. But yeah, I mean, the kid, I mean, he's tough. He plays defense. He's not scared. You know what I mean? He's got pedigree. Like, I'm all for Keaton Wallace, man.
There was a report that Tony Ressler has pushed all the marbles in on Antsy and believing in the GM, giving him the reins to do whatever he needs to do. How hard is it for that second apron as far as these GMs are concerned?
Oh, it's tough, man. That second apron ain't no joke. You see what Boston's doing. Boston's selling them cats for 50 cents on the dollar, man. You know what I mean? That second apron, they limit so much of what you can do with a team. And that's why teams don't want to go into that second apron. You know, first apron, possibly if you're competing for a championship. But that second apron, don't nobody want to deal with that. They don't want those problems, man. So yeah, teams will cut salary. They'll do what they got to do.
Yeah. So with that being said, give me your overall grade on what the Hawks did from draft night to all season thus far.
I'm not really a grade guy, but I will say it is better than
give
average.
me a word. Give me a word.
Hopeful. And I think for the Atlanta Hawks, that's like I think that's fair for the Hawks because a lot of times Hawks fans have been through a lot. They've been through a lot, and a lot of times these Hawks fans have not had what you call something as simple as hope. And so these moves, Hawks fans can look at these moves, and if nothing else, they have hope. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many games Porzingis is going to give you. I don't know the health of all these guys, but on paper right now, this is a Hawks fan can look at where this team is headed, and they can be hopeful. So that's why I'm gonna go with that word, hopeful. I mean, I think they did. I mean, I would give them a very good grade if I gave grades. But like, yeah, like I typically don't do grades until like 3 years after the draft. But they did excellent, especially fleecing New Orleans and like, yeah. So fans should be hopeful.
I'm gonna back you up, E-Dub. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give them a grade. They got a solid A. The only reason why they don't get an A+ is, to your point, we don't based off history with Porzingis' health. You know, you got to assume, you know, you can't assume him being. You got to hope he's there for 60, 65 games, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, based off that kind of lowers everything. But then fleecing New Orleans for you're going to have a lottery pick next year. Regardless, it doesn't matter. New Orleans is going to stink, and Milwaukee is probably going to stink. They both might stink. Neither one of them are going to be good so you're going to get that. You're going to get that lottery pick or a high first round pick next year as well, and then to be able. And I think you could let me know on this next year's draft is supposed to be better than this year's draft, if I'm not correct. So, however this season turns out, and we would hopefully assume the Hawks at worst would be a 5 seed, then now you can go into next year knowing exactly being able to possibly get one of those generational type talents to move forward. So, they got an A. And if you look at Quinn, at Snide in Utah, there were some years he had Utah at 4 and 5, and the West has always been deeper than the East. And so, in recent years anyway, so when he was there, the West was much deeper than the East was, and he continually to have Utah 4 and 5. He just didn't have the horses to get out of the first round. You know, because you see with Spider, right? He had Spider, and Spider can't see him to get out of the first round here in the East. So it may not even be coach. It might just, you know, it's just what he had as far as his lineup. So there's some, to your point again, there's some hope. And the East is so, I won't say the East is so weak, but the East is so wide open. If they can get to a 4 or 5, you know, a 4, you get that home court. Yeah. But the 4 and 5 seed really doesn't matter home court or not, because usually the 4 and 5 those teams are so equal in records and whatnot. Hey, I don't see anybody in the East. Maybe New York on paper right now that could say that the Hawks couldn't beat on paper. So I'm not saying the Hawks are going to make the NBA Finals. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is if they're a 4 or 5 seed, they can make some noise. They can get to a second round based on matchups. You know, I guess I'll say it this way. I would be more on the Hawks this go around if they made Eastern Conference Finals than I was 7 years ago when they tripped up into the Eastern Conference Finals against Milwaukee. You know, people get mad at me when I say that, but I'm like, we all know the Hawks shouldn't have beat Philadelphia in that first round. You know, non-coaching What's his name?
Was that Doc's team?
Doc's team. Yeah, just that scenario was all coaching that got them there, and then they had an injury kind of go their way for them to get into the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they had an injury go against them on them not reaching the finals. So it was a lot of things that broke their way, but it wasn't so much the team was to me all that great. Things just broke their way.
And you need
This
that to happen.
You do need to happen though, yes. But this go around, I feel like they can make a run and not have to have the breaks, right? You still want, and the breaks would be for me, they being fully healthy, not, another team having lack of health or whatever, but them just being fully healthy. I think this team on paper, to your point about the hope, I can sit here and be like, you know what? In that first round, I got the Hawks. And in that second round, you know what? It's 50-50. And so forth, but not relying on old lady luck to get you to certain places. So
yeah, and that's
Coach,
what
you got a question?
I was talking with Kyle Korver at the rookies press conference, Azanua's press conference, and he was like, and I asked him about like the window. We always talk about the window, and he cautioned me. He was like, yeah, we're not really talking window right now. He was like, what we don't want to do is we don't want to skip the steps, right? So obviously the next step for the Hawks is go from play-in to playoffs, right? And so you go from play-in to playoffs, that's one step, and then maybe in 2 or 3 years, you're competing for a championship. All right. It doesn't always have to happen like, oh, we got these guys, now we're going to compete for a title. No, you can't skip the steps. So if they go to the playoffs, and get bounced, that's still a step forward, right? And then next year you get a high draft pick. Okay, now we're going to make it to the playoffs again. Now we're going to make a run. Now we feel like we can compete, right? And so I think that's also valuable as well, because people look at these new line, oh man, we're going to go win a chip. We're going to be top. Well, I understand the enthusiasm, but you don't want to skip the steps. And they have a lot of things in their favor, especially the money. Like the money looks good. They have a clean book. They don't have any bad contracts, not one bad contract. So they got a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, they got rid of that man, that man, because the man's, what's his name?
Terrence Mann's contract.
Terrence Mann's contract.
And that wasn't even like a terrible contract. It was a bad contract, but it wasn't terrible. You're only paying him $15. He wasn't going to play, but you even got off of that. So that's a plus.
Coach, you got any questions for E-Dub before we let him go?
Yeah. Will they expect Ricochet to up his game this year?
I believe so. I really liked what I saw last year from Ricochet. He actually surprised me. I didn't really expect him to be as feisty and as competitive and as good defensively as he was last year. But the kid can run like a gazelle. He competes. He's a hard worker. Everyone, after every game, Coach would just talk about how hard of a worker he is. He wants to win, Yes, he's not your traditional number one pick, but he is. I can see him developing to a solid rotational player. And that's good. Not everybody in the world can be a solid rotational player in the NBA. And if that's his benchmark, then, I think that'll be just fine. He doesn't have to be the man. He can kind of fit in and find his spots. I look for good things in year 2 with him, especially playing alongside Jalen in a full year, playing with just the different matchups that Quinn can put together with this lineups. I think that he's going to do very well in year 2.
All right, E-Dub, my last question for the night before I let you go is,
Okay.
shoot, what was it? I had it, but I lost it. Let me go through my notes and see. Oh, yeah, I got it. Do Atlanta, and I'm sure Asa wanted to ask you this too, does Atlanta now have an identity?
I think now it's very clear that the identity is to really surround Trey around guys who can defend and guys who can shoot. I mean, that's what they want to surround him with, a bunch of long, rangy guys who can defend and who can shoot. I think that initially when they wanted to pair Trey with people, they thought that they needed a star. And so they went out and they got DeJounte Murray, like, oh, we need a star. You know, we need a star to play next to Trey. And that kind of flamed out because it just didn't work, mainly because they play the same position. But for whatever reason, that didn't pan out. And so now it looks much better on paper when you don't have to get necessarily a superstar, but you get guys that can accentuate Trey's skill set, right? That's passing. You know he's not the best defender, so you want to surround him with guys who can defend. That's what they've done. Bring in an extra shooter, you know, so surrounding him with guys who can play defense and play both sides of the ball. They have so many options on what they can do with their lineups now with Trey. You can protect Trey with, you know, the Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You can put him beside Dyson. You can put him out there at Risache. You can do a lot of things to protect him defensively and still make sure the offense is going. So I think their identity is, I mean, they want to play fast. They want to shoot a bunch of threes, but they want guys with a specific skill set. And I would say that's more so the identity than more so a style of play, because they want to play fast. They want to shoot threes, and they want to, you know, get out in space. So that's kind of what they want to do.
All right, man. I want to appreciate you. Thank you for swinging through 3 weeks in a row, my man. All right, man. Let everybody know where they can find you on the Hawks Beat, you know, all on social media.
Hawks Beat on all platforms, man. Wherever you guys social media, just search the Hawks Beat. You'll find us there. We recently just went over some free agency talk, and we're going to probably do another free agency podcast as we get ready for Summer League, and we'll take a look at what the Summer League guys are going to be doing out in Vegas. So Hawks Beat podcast, that's how we get down.
Good deal, man. We so appreciate it, man. Thanks for the update. And I know you don't give a grade, but I got hope as well.
That's what's up, man. Y'all enjoy your Wednesday, man. I'll see you next time.
Appreciate it,
E-Dub. Sure. Bro. Thanks. E-Dub, man. There he is. E-Dub coming through, man, breaking it down for us. All right, Coach. Asa gave it a solid A. What you give the Hawks thus far from the draft through the out season?
I would say B, because I think they just need to add. They need a big one. They need a big one somewhere in that little collection of athletes. They got to have a solid big one. And somebody had mentioned, and I just smiled when they said it. I said it ain't gonna happen. Somebody was talking about Al Horford coming back. I said no, Al is too old right now. That's not what you need to get you in the solid big in there. They just need a big one. So
yeah, he's gonna probably wind up at
I think they covered everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Coach. I'm looking at their roster right now after all the trade deadlines and everything. Either you need another big, whether that big be a power forward or a center, and another big that would cover you in case of any injury to KP, which I know HO was like, why are we gonna get a guy that spent most of his time on the sidelines? So I think another big would help solidify that. That would help you not having to play Kristaps so much. And like I said, while E-Dub was on, I would like to see another two-way guard. Because I don't believe another two-way guard that has some handle. I'm not familiar with Alexander Walker's game coming from Minnesota, but I am familiar with, like, I think Brogdon is still out there. I would like to maybe see him. And I know Brogdon's a big guard as well. So couple little spots that could fill out, but still, what they have right now, Coach, and the way the East is wide open, I don't see why they can't make a good strong run. Second round.
What about signing Larry Nance back as another big?
I wouldn't be mad with that. I wouldn't be mad with that.
Would you take a flyer on Malik Beasley since Detroit don't want him back?
Nah, I ain't touching that. Because
he's being investigated. We don't know if it's true or not.
Well, I'm saying, but that's the point. Them investigations don't happen in like 30 days. Them investigations, you might not know about what they're gonna get back until 6 months from now. We be in the season already. You see what I'm saying?
Coach, do you want to take a flight? What about you, Coach? Larry Nance and Malik Beasley?
Nance has returned to Cleveland.
Oh, he already signed with Cleveland? Oh, okay. Well, that's out.
Yes, sir.
Boo, he must didn't like him. All right, real quick before we jump into our ball of busters and boy stop. Jake Paul is now ranked. Just wanted to get y'all thoughts on that real quick, fellas. Jake Paul, a YouTuber, is now ranked in boxing. WBC, I think.
Boxing is dead.
He can contend for a belt.
Boxing is dead.
Coach.
And
no need to be nothing else need to be said. Jake Paul is a fraud. He hadn't boxed anybody.
Didn't he fight our boy?
Jake Paul.
Didn't he fight our boy? What's his name? Didn't he fight Mr. 50 and old man?
Mayweather?
Yeah, didn't he fight Mayweather?
Yeah.
I blame Mayweather. Mayweather should have toe tagged him. That's the reason why I dislike Mayweather. Because you don't let somebody come into your sport who shouldn't be in your sport and let them play around in your sport. But he took money over his sport. So here we are 5 years later with, like you said, a YouTuber being able to fight for a belt. Boxing is dead.
And Coach, you say ain't nothing else need to be said, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to. They're looking at him fighting Ramirez, who was 48-1. But I would always. He just learned boxing a few years.
He ain't really learned boxing. If you watch anything, he ain't.
Years ago, I
still
they're going to beat him. If you lose, then you lose him to a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I'm just reading. I was just reading. All these trade rumors keep coming up for Kyle Pitts now. Speaking of trade rumors, Darren Waller comes out of retirement to go to. Is it Miami? Yeah, he got traded to Miami.
Oh, talking about the tight end?
Yeah. When he married to the WNBA girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, Kelsey Plum. Mistake. mistake. She dumped him like a hot load of garbage. Come on, man. You ain't got you. You can't keep her.
So she dumped him, huh?
He's not gonna help Miami in like a bad habit.
Well, he ain't played in what 2 years now, right?
Where was he at before? He was in with the Raiders,
New
wasn't
York.
he?
He out there making
Yeah.
rap songs.
Oh no, New York, then the Raiders. Yeah.
Songs about his age. Yeah. He making R&B songs about Kelsey Plum. Come on, man. What you ready to play football?
All right, fella. Let's go ahead and jump into our baller busters and boy stop. Go ahead and put them in the chat. So let's go ahead and we can go ahead and start them off. Baller this week. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a Comcast for get my internet up. They was headed to a buster, but
I got second round recovery, huh?
yeah, they sent the troops out here, and I'm up and running. So, and I'm still up. So, and I hadn't been down yet. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get Comcast for a quick response for their ball of the week. All right, Ace, so you can go next.
All our baby girl, Angel Reese. She broke a few records this past week, but she's also had I want to say 2 or 3 double doubles. So Angel Reese for the week she's had in the WNBA.
All right, Coach, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Indiana Fever beating the heavily favored. Even though my favorite player, Nafisa Kari, had a very rough game. That was probably the reason because they lost. But I'm gonna go with the Fever winning the Commissioner's Cup for the first time.
All right. Dez got it. Dez say he got multiple ballers. SGA for getting the bag, the house GM, and the dad who jumped in the ocean to save his baby.
Yeah, I just seen that on the cruise line.
I'm trying to figure out how would that plexiglass.
Trying to figure out what, Coach?
How she got over that plexiglass they got up there to jump in that.
Yeah, kids find a way.
Yeah. All right. My buster this week.
He did what he was supposed to do, though.
Yeah, he did. He did what he's supposed to do for sure. Buster of the week. Atlanta Braves.
That's what 4 weeks in a row.
Listen, man. I think I was on Coach show, and we talked about the 13 game was going to determine their season, and I think they would. They went what 7-6 for the 13 game. Let me find.
They were winning.
Quick. Hold on. Yeah, but they were losing too.
I mean, they started off sweeping 2 weeks ago, sweeping the
yeah, then they hit that wall against Philly.
And it's just they can't get right this year. They win 3, lose 4 in a row.
8-12 in their last 20 games. And I said that was going to determine their season.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, I agree.
they will be selling when it gets to the trade deadline. They are not buying.
Yep,
Not
I agree,
buying at
Des.
all.
The Braves. Yep, the hitting coach Hi- uh, Tim Ayers or Yayers or something. Yeah, did they fire the wrong hitting coach? Because who's leading the league in home runs right now?
Cunha, ain't it?
The boy from
No,
Seattle.
no, Cal,
No, I'm
Cal.
not talking about overall. My bad. My boy from Seattle, the catcher from Seattle.
Yeah, and who's their hitting coach?
He was here, wasn't he? He used to be here.
Yeah, Kevin Seitzer. So yeah, maybe they fired the wrong person, and they keep doing that. Kevin Seitzer is out in Seattle. Seattle is top 3 in runs scored and top 3 in average. And here we struggling 21st and 22nd in runs scored, and we don't have a person over 15 home runs yet. So yeah, definitely the Braves get a bust. Hey, so you gave your buster yet?
Nah, I haven't. Milwaukee Bucks front office.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know how you turn Damian Lillard's contract into Bobby Bonilla 2.0 contract. You gonna be paying him for the next 5 to 7 years, 20 some odd $1 million.
22 to be exact. But I think they did him a favor, and I explain why. But go ahead, Coach. Who's your buster?
Oh Lord. Let's see.
You got that many to choose from?
I got plenty to choose from. Uh oh, the Braves, because as soon as Mr. PED Jurickson Profile come back, you cut Verdugo. I'm like, why? You need Verdugo. He ain't lighting the world up, but you do need him. I guess you had to make room for Profile for whatever reason, but Profile can't, they might not make the playoffs. Profile can't help you in the playoffs because he can't play. So why you cutting Verdugo? And Profile is first at bat, strike 3. So
With the bases loaded.
I got no love for Profile. Shame.
And they give Travis d'Arnaud a standing ovation tonight.
Yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah, I agree.
Deserved it. Should
Dad say that's his boy stop too, the Braves. How you gonna demote the third base coach, but the hitting coach is still in place? That's a good one. All right, my boy stop is the NBA for constantly trying to change the way that they try to influence in the narrative of the game of basketball. How are you going to take a guy in Carter Bryant who averaged 6 points a game for Arizona, picked him the last pick in the lottery, but Eric Dixon, who led led the nation in scoring, and he didn't even get drafted. Janai Broome, who was a Player of the Year candidate the whole season for Auburn, he gets drafted in the second round. But Carter Bryant,
Yep.
1 year at Arizona, gets picked 14, averaging 6 points a game. What's the narrative? What is the narrative for the NBA at this point? What's the identity? What are we doing? Because I'm confused. So with that being said,
We don't know what we doing.
I get an NBA boy stop for that. You work your whole life for 4 years to go to school and develop and lead the nation in scoring, and you don't even get drafted. Eric Dixon, Villanova. I'm just as confused as I'll get out. Anybody explain that to me? Yeah, everybody quiet.
That's just like Caleb Love didn't get drafted.
Exactly.
Caleb Love didn't even get drafted.
Yeah. Hey, so what you were gonna say?
I thought he was playing well for Arizona.
No, I'm with you. There's some things just not adding up there. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, what? That tells me that staying in school hurts you more now than it ever did. Dad said playoffs about the Braves. Yeah, we ain't going to the playoffs. You can forget.
Oh no, it's done. They need to be selling and stacking up for next year.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Ace, give me your boy stop unless you don't have one. You can ride with me in the car with mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride in there with you. I don't have a boy stop. I haven't been tuning into as much as I usually do this week, so I don't have anything other than. So I'm gonna ride with you. Thank you for the.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we drive. We don't drive no expedition like Coach, but we in there. We got room.
I got
All right,
I got 5 on the gas tank.
All right, Coach. What's your boy stop, Coach? You trying to get in the car with us too, Coach?
No, my boy stop go to the Knicks. Mike Brown. All these coaches out there, y'all 5 Tibbs, and then you get Mike Brown. Now, I ain't saying Mike Brown is a bad coach. He does a bad pick for this team. What I'm mad at is they won't give any of these new and up-and-coming coaches a chance to do nothing. Instead of retreading. You need retreads who've been there, done that. And I'm like, come on, man. You got plenty of good young coaches out there ready to show you what they can do, but you keep them down because you keep bringing these guys back like Mike Brown and Doc Rivers and I don't know. That's just call names. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mark Jackson didn't get that job for sure.
He been away too long.
Mark Jackson might well stop trying to. Oh yeah, can y'all believe this? Ronald Acuna was named a starter.
I was just about to say that, but I had to verify
a starter.
First. I had to verify first, but yeah, I just saw that.
Not a reserve.
Yeah. They only did that because they playing at home.
Is y'all about to say it's the home? It's the home. It's the home team, and you know he is the home team's fan favorite.
Yeah, they looking for people to come to
I
the
just want to
game.
see him
at that point.
participate. I want to see him participate in the home run derby. That's what I want to see.
He said he was going to do it, didn't he? I thought I read somewhere he said he was going to participate in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gonna participate.
He is.
All right, man. That's gonna do it for our ballers, busters, and bar stop. Thank you guys for participating. All right, now it's time to get back into this round table discussion. It's time to talk NBA, talk Minnesota signs Julius Randle to a $100 million contract for 3 years, $100 million. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gets the bag, $285 million for 4 years. Harden, 2 years, $81 million. Devin Booker, 2 years, $150 million. Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
Coach, you regret not playing basketball, Coach? That what you were saying?
Yes, sir. Every day. But then, yeah, man, when you get a cat making $70 million a year to dribble a basketball and shoot, $70 million, woo, a year. Said you got some of these cats who ain't a number one on their team getting paid all this money. It's absolutely insane. I'm looking at some of these contracts. Joe was getting 3 years, $80 million, and barely averaging 13 points a game. I'm like, seriously? That's what we doing?
All right. Let's talk about the Milwaukee move. After they let Dame go, they signed Miles Turner. He stays east and plays for Milwaukee. Signs with Milwaukee. Is the 4 years, $107 million. So Indiana loses big time in that he was a free agent. They didn't sign him back. They waited till the last year, made a good run with him, but they couldn't keep him. Mistake for Indiana or great pickup for Milwaukee?
I like Miles Turner. I say it's a better pickup for Milwaukee if they wind up being able to keep Giannis, because he can protect Giannis as far as doing all the dirty work, board work, all that kind of stuff. Being that big man that can bang a little bit underneath the boards, so you don't have to have Giannis doing all of that. So a good pickup for them. And I won't say it's a bad loss for Indiana. I think this year for them is going to be, let's see what we got. They got a good coach. Let's see who we had, who can step in. You might be able to give Toppin more run because he was coming off the bench anyway. So, and then this year, I won't say it's a lost year, but then this year is, you're not going to see what you got going on until Halliburton comes back, which may be later this year, obviously, but you kind of run it back next year. So I don't think it's as bad as a loss for Indiana as some people think it is. I think it is a better pickup for Milwaukee, though. But that's only if they can keep Giannis. If Giannis be like, I want to get up out of here, then it's a bad pickup for Milwaukee, because you're not going to want to build around Miles Turner.
If you was Giannis, would you want to leave at this point?
I don't think Giannis wants to leave. I don't think Giannis is in the business of wanting to be bothered with big markets. He's a
low key.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is a few years ago. So, hey, coach, I'm gonna drop some names right now myself. So a few years ago, I was able to go to Greece, and while I was there, when people found out where you was from or whatever, they were like, "Oh, you see our guy over there playing?" Talking about Giannis. You see our guy over there playing. So when you kind of get to understand the where he's from and understand the background where he's from, I don't think the big market is not who he is. So I think he's kind of quite happy in Milwaukee and kind of being in the area and where you know everybody kind of knows your name type of city base. So um, I think as long as Milwaukee shows that they're trying to do certain things to make the team somewhat better, I think he's going to stay.
I
And he
think
won a
Marlon
champ.
said it. Go ahead.
No, and he won a championship, right? His one championship is kind of like what was old boy in boxing in the Philippines? What was his name? Pacquiao. Pacquiao winning that one. Winning the one title, or whatever. He can go back home. He's the king at home, right? Don't matter how many losses he's had. He at one point was the greatest boxer with the heavyweight, or middleweight championship and whatnot. Giannis is kind of like that when he goes back home to Greece. He has the one NBA champion. He is forever a king back at Greece. So, we over here think about having to win it 3, 4, 5 times. I think he's good. His mindset, he's good.
And he's getting his money, so he's straight.
Yep.
All right, so here's where I think Milwaukee did Dame a favor. They on the hook for $22 million for the next 5 years, which he's going to rehab in Portland, but he can sign with anybody
Anyway.
as a free agent to contend for a title. And he can take as less money as possible because he already getting $22 million from Milwaukee.
Yeah. He can go somewhere and get the league minimum, right?
He can pick. He can any team next year that's going down the stretch needing the guard, need somebody like a Dame Lillard. He can sign with them for a vet minimum and still get paid from Milwaukee. So he's set. Did him a huge favor. So
Yep.
out of all the ones who re-signed, like Randall, did you see that coming?
Yeah.
Does that
I
help
understand.
Randall become a better player for Milwaukee? I mean, for Minnesota, or did you think they overpaid for that particular player?
No. I think he's a good fit in Minnesota. He's a good fit running with Ant-Man. And I think them being able to do it one more time, I think they'll be okay. So I don't mind that.
Coach, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm still looking at. I don't know why I'm stuck on these contracts. Who does Sam Merrill play for? Y'all know him, Sam Merrill?
Nah.
Thank you. He ain't averaging double digits a game. Yet this joker got a contract 4 years, $38 million. Are you crazy? 4 years, $38 million. I'm like, almost $10 million a year. What are you doing? You ain't averaging double digits. But I'm gonna digress away from that.
I think Dad said it best right here.
Yeah, Otto Porter's contract was ridiculous. Otto Porter's contract was embarrassingly ridiculous.
Even Dennis Schroeder still getting money. He signed with Sacramento. I think he got 3 years and 42. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Still looking at the contracts, coach. Can't believe it.
I'm done. Because it's ridiculous. But hey, my thing is you can't deny folks if they getting paid that much. Hey, more power to them. They getting paid and somebody gonna pay them. Good luck.
Say good luck with that, huh?
For the Bucks can have Giannis. The Bucks can have Giannis, but they're not going anywhere. They signed a few guys, but I still don't think they got enough to go anywhere. So let it be.
All right, look like we might get out of here on time tonight. Cause guess what, Coach? You guessed it. SRT fun bag.
I see something at the bottom.
You already know. You can start to see the people jumping in. They start coming in when fun bag time comes. They start jumping in around 8:45. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right. First question. You ready, Asa? Don't let Coach
I'm ready.
Now.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
First question. Name the one domestic house chore that you learned to do.
Wash and fold clothes.
Coach?
I know a few more, but that's one of the main ones.
What was the first house chore that you learned how to do? The first house chore that you learned how to do.
Wash the dishes. Because I messed around and left some dishes in the sink. And my mama wasn't approving of that. Next thing you know, I woke up in the morning to come right to wash them before she got up. And it was ants all over.
All right, so I should have said,
I learned never to leave dirty dishes in the sink.
Besides making the bed, what was your first chore? All right, they coming in now. Washing dishes, taking out the trash. All right, mine was washing the tub out. Yeah, I got introduced to Ajax very, very early. All right, this gonna be fun. All right, question number 2. If you had to do it all over again at 18 years old after graduation from high school, the government says you can go to school, any college you want to, for free of charge. Name the school and name the major that you will major in.
Is it free of charge?
Free of charge. You're going for free. No money is no issue.
I think Howard has a great media program.
Tracy's talking about me.
I would have took that and went there and did that.
Don't laugh at that, Coach. I'm gonna pull my sink out. So Asa, you going to Howard?
I'm going to Howard.
And major in
media communication.
Okay. Coach, what you doing?
I'm going to a place I almost was, but I messed around and broke my ankle in the summer, and that ended all that party. I'm going to USC, Southern California. The Trojans, baby.
Going out to LA to major in what?
Yes, sir. Kinesiology.
Okay. Well, Tracy, you almost had it right, but I'm going with Ace. I'm going to Howard University playing quarterback and major in media.
Uh-oh, you gonna be swinging
We
that thing around?
Yeah.
You might have been throwing the Acer.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, tell him.
Yeah. Yeah. Duke would have been my second choice, but realistically, I would have went to Howard. I'm not sure if Duke would have took my grades, but
My mom would have been mad with me. She went down to Alabama, Tuskegee.
I'm gonna have to keep my eyes on y'all on this one. And everybody who listening, please don't cheat. Spell trigonometry.
Ooh. T-R-I-G.
T-R-I-G-O-N-E.
Oh,
Say it again, Coach.
Trig.
I didn't hear you, Coach.
T-R-I-G-O. Nom. N-O-M. T-R-I-G. Trigo. O-N-O-M-E-T-R-Y.
All right, Coach. Look at Coach. Coach using that Mississippi education.
breaking it out.
There you go. Dez got it. Dez got it right too.
Spelling bee champion. That's right. Spelling bee champion middle school.
Where you coach? Do you have receipts to back
Yes,
that
sir.
up?
Went to the state championship. I can call my cousin. She'll tell you because we both she went to the state. We both went to the state championship.
All right, Coach. Just for you, spell acquiesce.
A-C-Q-U-I-E acquiesce. A-C-Q-U-I-E-S-E acquiesce.
Go ahead, Coach. Look at you, boy. You a bad
All right,
man.
Coach. All right. So don't mess with you, Coach.
I don't play games, man.
Look at Dez.
Now, if you tell me do a calculus problem or a trig problem, they'll say autocorrect home.
Yeah.
Now, you tell me do a trig problem or a calculus problem, then I'm going to put something on there. 2. 2 going to be the answer for everything.
I know that's right. Oh, I forgot to give y'all the NBA question of the day. So I'm gonna stop right here and give y'all the NBA question for today. What is SGA's government first name?
Shaquan.
Yeah.
Nope.
I didn't guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shy Guild. I don't something shy, ain't it? Shay.
Shavante.
That part of it, right?
Shavante. What the?
You from Canada?
I'm lost on that one. I'll be like, okay.
That don't sound Canada to me.
Shavante. All right, here we go.
That sound Detroit-like.
All right, so here we go. A friend runs to your house with $8 million cash and say he just robbed the bank. This is a keep one, bench one, cut one. And he said, I need you to let me in. So are you going to A, tell on him, B, let him in, help him hide the money, and ask for half of it? Or would you C, tell him to get out? You don't want to be a part of him being on the run, but he has to give you $1 million to keep your mouth shut. Keep one, bench one, and cut one.
How much did he steal?
$8 million. He robbed the bank. $8 million. He's on the run.
Yeah, I need a good million for you to come through and get some and keep it going. I don't know where you went, but I need a good million though.
So that's the one you keeping?
Yeah. I'm keeping that one. You said keep one and then let one go, right?
Keep one, bench one, and cut one.
I'm keeping that one. And then I'm not whatever it is, I'm not going all the way in with him. So he can't stay. he can't stay.
He can't stay.
He can't stay.
Dan said C, which is the last one. He keeping that one. B is the and A is he gonna cut that one because that's the one that's the A is the one that you go tell on him.
Yeah, give me the million. I ain't telling.
Order. I agree with Diaz. I go to the same order.
Same order.
Yep.
All right, here we go. You got to pick 2 out of these. It's still a money question. Pick 2 out of the 5. A brand new car of your choice, $55,000 per month, unlimited food, a 6-figure job, pay no taxes, and $350,000 right now. You got to pick 2.
God dog, man.
Oh yeah, so the $55,000 a month and unlimited food.
You want to eat?
I agree with Asa.
I want to eat and keep my money.
And get paid.
Yeah.
$55,000 a month is
$55,000 a month. You can pay all your bills. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. There we go. We good. We good. Unlimited food. I ain't got to buy no food. Yeah.
Damn, Dez picked 3.
I don't need no new car. I can get a new car.
I told Dad, I said pick 2. He gave me 3. Well, I'm going with $55,000 a month and no taxes. I can buy all the food I want. Matter of fact, I'm meal prepping with that. Speaking of meal prep, if you had the meal prep for the next 2 months, you got to get 1 protein, 1 starch, and 1 green and 1 fruit. What do you have?
One protein, 1 starch, 1 fruit, and 1 what else?
1 green.
1 green. Lamb for my starch. Lamb for my protein.
Protein.
Rice for my starch.
Yellow, white, or brown?
Brown rice.
Did I mention this has to be healthy too?
Yeah, well, so far I'm trying to stay away from chicken, and so lamb kind of gets me there. So lamb, brown rice, broccoli, and for my fruit, man, I want multiple. Can I do a fruit cup then? Would that count? Or I gotta do a fruit?
A fruit.
Okay. Mango.
All right, Coach, what you got, buddy?
Pork loin, rice, white rice, green peas, watermelon.
Y'all liking that watermelon? All right, there. Salmon, yellow rice, asparagus, and watermelon. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going with yellow rice, turkey wing, spinach. Did I say baby turkey wings? Yeah, baby turkey wing, spinach, and tangerine. Well, no, I'll go watermelon too. watermelon slices.
Sorry, nothing wrong with that.
I was looking for my last question, but I think I asked them. I asked them all. Yep, I think I asked them all. So, and look, right on time too. It's 9 o'clock on the dot. Yes, sir. With that being said, you hear the music. It's time to get up out of here.
What's up, hand? What's Hancock's first name?
Steven.
Huh?
Steven.
I can hear you. Oh.
Steven. STEPHEN.
Yeah, I was just looking at something. They were talking about a Hancock was found in a pool.
Found well?
In a pool.
Oh no, that ain't Big Homie. He don't swim, I don't think. Yeah, with that being said, man, congratulations to Coach Hancock. Shout out to Walter Banks. This show is dedicated to you. I want to shout out Asa, want to shout out Coach, and shout out E-Dub for coming through, man. Shout out to everybody who continues to tune in and listen to Sports Roundtable. Yes, sir. We still putting up numbers as I got last week, 193 downloads. Last week, not from the show last week, but from all of the shows. It gives me the count of all of the shows. 193 downloads from last week.
Hey, HO, before we get out of here, we all missed it. I don't know how we didn't give Bobby Bonilla his baller of the week. We just passed Bobby Bonilla Day on July 1st. He got his annual,
1.13 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Bernie Madoff.
Until 2035.
Yeah, he still got a good.
So he's
8
already
years on that thing.
He's already amassed 15 million from that deal, and it was a $6.5 million deal.
And now he ain't got to go to the bank. He got all he had to do is wait on direct deposit. Wake up in the morning, get on the phone, get on the computer, and see his total, and be like, "Oh yeah, another day."
Yeah, he got
another July.
He got 2 birthdays. His birthday and July the 1st.
Yeah. Bernie Madoff made that happen. Ain't that something? All right, man. That's all my shout outs. Go ahead, Ace. Give me your shout out.
Hey, man, always, man, to you, SRT family, Coach, always have a good time when I come on. Shout out to my DNA Sports Talk family. Check us out every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Just go to DNA Sports Talk at all social media outlets to get the information.
All right, Coach, it's on you.
Shout out to H.O. Hope from Bankhead, Asa Brown, the Doctor Style, all the other representatives, E-Dub, and everybody who's not here, everybody who shows up to listen to us. Shout out to you. Shout out to Red Armani, Red and Red Sports Show, Saturdays from 11 until we stop talking about sports. Let's see who else. Shout out to my brother who just got a big victory the other day from somewhere. Shout out to him.
All right, brother. So you got a victory.
Yeah, company owed him money, and he finally they had to pay up. So pay up. So there we go. There we go.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, man. With that being said, man, yes. Make sure you check out Red and Red Sports Show on Saturday. Make sure you check out DNA Sports on Monday night. And also, make sure you go to the SRT YouTube page and all social media pages. Like and subscribe. And let's keep pushing the show forward. Let's go ahead and get into a like, subscribe, and make sure you click on the bell to get notified when the show is up. Yes, do us that favor. Like, share, and subscribe. How about that? With that being said, R.I.P. moms and pops, R.I.P. C for Asa, Coach, Hancock, E-Dub, and all the tenants that listen to Sports Roundtable. This your main man H.O. from Bankhead, and this is SRT. We'll see y'all next week. And we out. Peace.